Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another Sims 4 speed build. So today I am going to be continuing my Build Newcrest Community Lots Edition challenge, and this week we are building the vet clinic, which this is kind of exciting. I actually haven't built a vet clinic before. Usually I just play with one of the pre-made ones. So this was a lot of fun for me because it's not something I've really had much experience with. So this is the Boop Snoot Vet Clinic, which I have to admit, I came up with the name for this vet clinic like weeks ago. Like maybe within the first week or two of me starting this project. So I've been looking forward to this build for a very long time just because of the name. Also, you know, I mean, vet clinics are just in general, I think, a lot of fun. And I am a big animal lover, so I was really excited to do this. So this is the last lot in this neighborhood in Newcrest, so this has been kind of like the retail shopping district kind of area. So first we did a spa and then a gym, and then what was next? The retail store, which was a garden store, which is a lot of fun. And then last week we did the cafe, and so finally we are wrapping things up now with the vet clinic. So exciting times ahead. Next week, well, probably next week. I say next week, but I might give myself a week off from doing a community lot build and do like a regular speed build. I haven't decided yet. It's a good breaking point, you know, like since we're switching between neighborhoods, to do that, but I haven't quite decided yet. So either next week or the following week, we will be moving on and doing the like nightlife kind of neighborhood. So that'll be the restaurant, the bar, which I'm thinking I'm probably going to do a bowling alley bar, just because we have a lot of bars in the game already, and in this neighborhood specifically, like there's going to be a lot of places for your Sims to like go out. So, but really the only way you can have a functional bowling alley is to turn a bar into a bowling alley. So, and I don't know. I don't always play with bowling in The Sims, but it is kind of fun. It's a little strange. I actually, in my Ant Life Let's Play a couple of weeks ago, when my one child Sim aged up to become a teenager, I had her aunt throw her birthday party at the bowling alley. So that was kind of fun because we don't really have places like that, you know, like, I don't know if you guys have like Magic Mountain or like arcades or go-kart places or things like that. We don't really have any of those types of places for kids except for bowling alleys, which is kind of funny because they're also bars. But so anyways, so bowling alley bar, and then we'll also have a karaoke bar, a lounge, and a nightclub. I think that's the 5. So yeah, so it'll be a little bit of a shift in things. It'll be, you know, obviously lots of places that your Sims can go to for more like nighttime entertainment and fun, and should be a good time. I'm very excited. So anyways, so back to this build, I decided to go with something that sort of fit the whole theme of the rest of the row of stores and buildings, but that was a little bit, I don't know, I went with kind of like a rustic vibe to it. I don't know, like it felt like a place that I would see like in Colorado or something, with like a lot of like stone and wood elements, and then like to have the sheet metal style roof, like rustic but like contemporary rustic. I don't know, is that even a thing? Am I just making that up? I have no idea. So that's kind of the whole vibe that I went for, because I wanted something that, you know, felt a little bit more updated, but like maybe it had been originally a much older building. The other thing too is that, you know, I mean, animals, let's be real, they are adorable and cute, but they are messy. So I didn't really I wanted a building that looked like it could withstand the dirt and the chaos from animals. And to me, like having something that was kind of like a frou-frou Victorian build, that doesn't really say like, yes, this is a sturdy place that will last forever. Like, no, it doesn't express that to me. So I went with a style that could possibly be originally more Victorian, but then made the furnishings and everything about it much more contemporary, outdoorsy, that sort of thing. So I also decided So because I've never built a vet clinic before, I kind of poked around a little bit on the gallery beforehand to get some ideas of what I wanted, and there were a lot of good ideas that I saw, one of which was to put in a place with bathtubs, so that way then if your sim has a dog but they don't have a tub in their home, they can come to the vet clinic to give their dog a bath. Because if you've played with dogs in The Sims 4, you know those dogs get dirty all the time, like constantly. I remember I had a family once where they had like 2 or 3 dogs, and it was like between the walking and the bathing, I felt like I was constantly, like I had to work so hard to keep their needs up that I was like neglecting the needs of my children a little bit. But it's fine. They, like they can take care of themselves a little bit. It wasn't a big deal. But yeah, so not having a bathtub is a really big hindrance in this game. So I was like, okay, that's a good idea. I'll put in like a spot. So you'll see it later on, but I put in like an outdoor doggy grooming / spa area in the back. The other thing I did was I also put in the stuff for pet training. So like all of the like obstacle course types. I know it's not an obstacle course, but like all of those types of things, I put in like what would be like the backyard. So you can only access them if you've access. I don't know. You can only get to them. There we go. If you go through the building. So it's not like anybody and everybody can just wander in. Like you have to actually go through the vet office to get to it. But I thought that was kind of a nice idea too, because even though in Brindleton Bay there's that one dog park that has it, it's nice to have an alternative. And then again, this has the stuff to like do the bath like right then and there. So like if your dog gets dirty while they're outside training, you can give them a bath right there. The other thing I did, which you're seeing right now in the lobby waiting room area, I created a separate room for cats to wait in. And I got this idea because we had to take our dog to the emergency vet a few weeks ago, which I think I talked about before. I mean, she's fine. Like, we thought that she might have pink eye, and because we were about to start dog sitting for my in-laws, we got worried. And then it turned out it wasn't pink eye, and literally the next day she woke up and her eye was totally fine, and she was like, "Why did you take me to the vet yesterday, you mean and cruel humans?" But anyways, so all was well. But I got inspired because they have in the emergency vet, they have a separate part of their waiting room that's cat specific, and it's not really like quiet. I mean, I guess it would be a little bit quieter, but it is just sort of a little bit more private. So that way then, especially like think about it, you're at the emergency vet, so chances are your animal is in like a lot of distress, more so than if you were just going to a regular vet. But this way you have like a quiet spot that's away from all the yappy dogs, and it won't stress your cat out. So I decided to create, so that's what that little alcove area is, and I put up like the cat rug like right in front of it. So like, and then there's a bunch of like cat decorations and stuff, and like a litter box and a scratching post and a little cubby hole. So like it's very obvious, like this is the cat room. So I don't know, I don't think Sims would actually use it that way, but if you're playing with a cat and you have to take him to the vet, you can sit in that part of the waiting room, and it would be very nice. I also put in some beds and some food bowls, so that way then if your pet needs a spot to rest, like, maybe there's a long wait at the vet, you just don't know. So that way then there would be a spot for them to like sit and relax and kind of chill out, grab something to eat. Obviously I put in the vending machines, and so yeah, so you can get all of the treats and potion-y things that you could possibly want. I put in the high-end robot vacuum, so hopefully little robot vacuum will do his job and clean up after any doggy messes that may happen, because it is a vet's office. And then so there are, let's see, there's 1, 2, 3 exam rooms. No, 4 exam? No. There's 1 surgery room and 3 exam rooms, I think is what I wound up doing. Because I was going to split up one of the exam rooms is a lot bigger than the others. It's the one that's kind of like behind the waiting room. And I was going to split it, but then the rooms would have been very, very small. And like, I don't think that you really need to have all that many exam rooms in gameplay. Because, you know, usually the game just sort of generates like 2 or 3 vets anyway, so it should be fine. But yeah, so 2 of the 3 exam rooms are like very standard. You know, they're decorated almost identically. You know, with the little diagrams and posters and stuff on the wall. There's like a cabinet area where, you know, there's treats and medical equipment and that sort of thing. There's a couple of chairs for the humans to sit in, which is always important. And then this is the surgery room, which I used. So fair warning, I used a lot of stuff from Get to Work in this. So if you don't have Get to Work, I mean, obviously you need cats and dogs, but if you don't have Get to Work, you might encounter a lot of things that are like missing. I mean, you could still download it. It'll just replace it with something that you do have in your game. But I used a lot of the things from Get to Work, including that wallpaper that's supposed to be like from the medical center or whatever. Because a lot of the like medical equipment stuff and like the decorations and that sort of thing, like it's you know, I mean, a vet is a dog or cat doctor, so it does work quite well, I think, for vet stuff as well. So those two packs, at least in this build or other vets in particular, those 2 packs play quite nicely together. So, and then this is the last exam room, and this is another thing that I thought of, not from the emergency vet that I go to, but from our regular vet. And this is a very sad room, and it's not actually going to work in gameplay because thankfully we don't have this option. But this is the bereavement room. So, obviously, like I said, in gameplay, because there is, thank God, no option to put your pet to sleep, it won't work that way, but I decided it would be kind of a nice thing maybe for storytelling purposes. To have a quiet part of the room that was set up with, like, you know, some nice candles and a rug. Our vet's office actually does have one of the exam rooms set up this way, so that way then if you do have to make that really, really difficult decision, which I'm not even gonna lie, like, I can't talk about it because it'll make me cry, but like, when I was doing this, like, part of the build, it took all of my energy to not, like, burst into tears, like, and that's all I'm gonna say about that. So anyways, it's a bereavement room. It also functions as a regular vet room as well. But yeah, so I did include some decorations that could be like, you know, like memorial types of things. Like a lot of times pets, after they're cremated, they'll have their ashes like put into like, you know, like a dog shaped or a cat shaped, I don't even know, like a decoration, like a vase or something. So, and then I put up, I love those little like table card things from Dine Out because they function for so many different things. Like anytime I need like a brochure or a pamphlet of something, I'm like, boop, the thing from Dine Out, you work. So I put that up as like, you know, like, oh, maybe it's like this is where you can select your options of what you would like done with your pet's remains. So anyways, so moving on from that, I did also go back through and put in like hand sanitizers and paper towels in all the rooms because let's be real, that's very important. So upstairs, so this is the interesting thing with this build. So I wanted to make like a staff room and a lab, so that way then there would be a spot to like, if you're using this in gameplay as the vet, then there's a spot for you to like work on creating like the different treats and things. But then I wasn't sure what else to do with the rest of it. So I decided, because a lot of times in gameplay, you sort of, if you're playing as the vet who owns the building, like, you know, if you have a long night or something, you're just gonna stay at the vet's office overnight. So I also create an apartment. So this right now with the refrigerator is the staff room. So the staff room is very large. It has a big kitchen area. Also, I used the refrigerator from Get to Work that has like vending machine things in it, like, you know, like you can buy like a sandwich or a pastry or whatever to use in the microwave or whatever. but I can never remember which one it is. So that's why I was like, I put all of the different types out and I was like, okay, now let's see which one of you looks like you have items in you. So I'm like 99% sure that I picked the right one, but if I didn't, I'm really sorry, and you can just swap it out with the one that's correct, but I'm pretty sure I picked the right one. And then I also created like a little coffee bar where you can get like, you know, the nicer coffees, because let's be real, if you're working at a vet's office, I don't know about you, our vet's office is open starting at like 7 in the morning, and most nights they're open until like 8 or 9 at night. Those are some long hours, and they work weekends. Like, props to them. That's a very long day. So I figured good coffee would probably be something very important to have on hand. And if you are a vet or a vet assistant or a vet tech, shout out to you. I don't know how you do your job, but I am very, very proud and grateful for all of you and all of the things that you do. So good job. I also put in like a comfy couch, and then I used, what was it? Oh, the magazine rack, also from, I believe, Get to Work. Like I said, Get to Work is used very heavily in this build. But I put in the magazine rack, and I don't actually know. I know like in The Sims 3, we had actual magazines that I think came out with the university that your Sims could read. Like they had magazines and comic books, which was kind of cool. But I don't know if it really is functional or not. I actually never checked into that. So it might be just decorative, but hey, you know, it's a spot to just chill on the couch and relax, drink a cup of coffee, maybe chat with your coworkers, and just kind of relax for a little bit. So also upstairs, I put in another public bathroom area. I mean, I don't anticipate many people coming up here to use the bathroom, but if it's, you know, if the downstairs one is full, this is an option. So this is now the apartment that I'm building. So it's pretty basic. It's just like a 1-bedroom apartment, 1 bathroom. There's like a living room area and a kitchen area. Nothing is super, super high end, but like it's nice enough that your sim will get like pleasant moodlets and things from it. So the other thing to note is that when I uploaded this to the gallery, I deleted the door to the apartment. And I did that specifically so that way then if you don't want to use the apartment, or if you don't want your Sims like visitors just wandering in, then they won't, because they can't get into the apartment because there's no door. So if you do want to use this part of the build as an apartment, you will have to place a door, but I put a spot that's like pretty explicit, like the door goes here. I actually even took a screenshot of that spot. So you'll see it again at the end of the video, like, but it's pretty obvious. It's like right between the kitchen and the TV in the living room. So and it's like, it's the only spot that a door would work on that wall. So, yeah, that shouldn't be too terribly difficult. And once more, I'm in my continuous struggle to find couches that aren't terrible. Also, I don't know what I'm doing here. I don't know. I was trying to figure out, like, I really struggled with, like, coffee tables and what type of table I wanted in this room, if I wanted a table at all, which I think eventually I decided to just use end tables instead of a coffee table. I wish we had lower 1-tile coffee tables, like end tables that were at coffee table height, because there is like one coffee table excuse me, that's a 1-tile coffee table, but it's like glass and wood. I don't know, it doesn't look quite right. I'm not a huge fan of it, but I wish we had some more small, like the big coffee tables are great. And I know, like, we saw in the season's screenshots that there is, like, a humongous coffee table that comes out with that pack, which is, like, great for, like, parties and stuff. But, like, for smaller builds, like, you know, this is just, like, a cute little tiny apartment. Actually, I really like this apartment. I wish it was one that I could just, like, take and plop into an apartment in San Myshuno. But sadly, it's not. But yeah, I wish we had like smaller tables and just smaller end tables in general. Like there's no need to have these giant tables. Like, I mean, they work in some builds, but then in others that are a smaller profile, it's like, but why? I don't need that much space on my end table if all I'm setting there is like a lamp or maybe a book and that's it, you know? But any case, so this is now the little bathroom area. Again, it's pretty basic, but you know, it gets the job done. It's a shower, so, which, you know, at the end of a long day working at the vet clinic, I'm sure your Sims would really appreciate. So this was interesting. Normally I build houses up on foundations, but I didn't for this, mostly because, and I haven't really played with puppies very much, or kittens, in the game, but I do know that they can't go up and down stairs. So I was like, well, if you have to take your puppy or your kitty to the vet, and the vet's office has steps, like, then what do you do? So, oh yes, this was great fun. I was trying to decide what type of bathtub would look good in like an outdoor setup. So behold, the bathtubs of The Sims 4. So finally I did decide on the one from Jungle Adventure because it has kind of like a concrete type of look to it. So I thought that would be very appropriate. And so I made like 4 little grooming stalls, I guess you could say, or bathing stalls, I don't know. So this was weird. So because it viewed the fenced-in area of the backyard as a room, it wasn't letting me place another fence inside of that room. I don't know. It was very strange. I was having a lot of issues with this. So I temporarily had to delete part of the fence in order to convince the game that it wasn't actually a room. And then I did end up placing a room without walls as the like back porch basically of the building, but it was very strange. And I did that because I was like, well, I'm afraid now if I close up the fence, I don't want to, you know, lose my progress that I've made, because I wanted to use the hedges to divide up the, you know, different dog grooming areas, and I didn't want those to like just disappear or something because the game was being stupid about it. So I was like, all right, well, this will be the temporary solution, because ideally I didn't really want to do that, but it was very strange. But overall, I'm very happy with how this outdoor area turned out. The other thing I have to confess is that I have not done a darn thing with dog training, or I'm assuming cats can't use it. I have no idea. That's how little I've used it in the game. Like, I love cats and dogs. I love them in real life, and I love them in the game. But I'm always surprised at how much I don't use them in the game, just because, like, sometimes, I don't know, sometimes they detract from, like, the storyline that I have going in my head. And so unless I have, like, a very dog-specific or cat-specific person in mind, I tend to not use them very much. Now, that being said, I have played with them quite a bit, but I haven't done the dog training or the pet training thing at all, because that's just not something I do in real life. Like, I don't know. I mean, I know it's like a thing that people do where they do like the dog run courses and stuff, and hey, cool, more power to you. But so I don't know. I have no idea of how I have this set up as like appropriate or functional. I mean, like, I think they would treat it as a course, like all the objects are close enough that the dogs would treat it as like a regular pet run type of course, but I don't know. So apologies if it's not appropriate or up to snuff, but I have no idea what I was doing, so that's my excuse and I'm sticking to it. Oh yeah, I also threw in my favorite items in the game. Well, maybe not my total favorite items. Also, I just realized I did not use a single fountain in this build. It must not be me. But instead of that, I placed the wind chimes and the bird feeder from, I think it's the Backyard Stuff pack, I believe. Ooh, I'm pretty sure that they're both from the same pack. I think they're both from Backyard Stuff. But yeah, so because I figured, you know what? For one thing, I would assume that cats would like to chase the birds, and even if not, then it is, you know, good storytelling. And I just like them. And the wind chimes, I, again, just like them. And I find them calming and soothing. And I don't know. My dog, I bought new wind chimes. I don't know if I've said this already. I bought new wind chimes when I bought my flowers for the season, like a week or so ago. And my dog was very interested in them. I think she was a little confused because She tends to get confused a little bit, but you know, she is also like 11, so I give her a free pass on that one. But yeah, so I just thought that that was a lot of fun. So anyways, this is the Boop Snoot Vet Clinic. If you guys would like to download this into your game, it's up on the Sims 4 gallery right now. So you can find it by either clicking on the link in the description box below this video, or you can search for it on the gallery. The best way would be to use either my username, which is Mrs. Tomato 1018, or you can find it by using the hashtag Mrs. Tomato 1018. So yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed this build and this video. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, you can do so down below. I put out a new video every single day, Monday through Friday. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye!